I know you don't like trading companies ahead of their earnings, but what do you do with Cisco up 1% today when they have such a bad track record of selling off after earnings?
Well, sometimes when the trade gets too easy, it's got to change. And the last 2 quarters Cisco came out, they missed. And there were huge gap downs, and a lot of investors got hurt. Some traders also got damaged. If you take a quick look at the chart, I just want to show you the last 2 times that Cisco came out. One was right here. It was trading at 24. Look at the size of this gap down. Then finally, people started to bottom feed. It rallied up. People thought, could this be different? Boom, another gap down. And now all of a sudden, we're trading here in the low 17s. So we talked over the course of like 2 weeks ago, as a value play, you know what, buy a little Cisco versus 17. So
I was surprised. I think I said what?
Well, it's up 80 cents, a few percentage points. It's not a blockbuster type trade. But I do think if you're in there for the long term, you could hold through this earnings. It's not like we're at 25, or not like we're at 22, we're 1780-ish. So if you want to take a little bit off, but then hold into earnings, I think you can do that. As a trader, I might actually hold a little long here, but I recommend maybe taking in-the-money calls so you have a defined risk. With low premium in-the-money calls, you can get a bang if it actually comes in good or doesn't disappoint. So you're involved in the trade, so just in case it doesn't work out, you don't have to sit and hold it if you're not a long-term investor.
And if you are a long-term investor, don't want to play those options, and you don't own Cisco, do you want to kind of nibble a little bit ahead of earnings, or too risky?
It's a little risky, but I do think it's somewhat safe here, and I hate to say the word safe because, you know, it's a...
Especially in tech.
in tech. But I think if you want to get in ahead of it, you know, get in with half the amount, let the report come out, and then we'll talk about getting the other half based on the open, whether it's down or whether it's up.
And I want to get to some Me Too plays. In particular, Juniper is stealing market share from Cisco in its earnings report mid-April. They were actually above the whisper number. Gross margins were almost 68%.
Right.
Revenues grew 21%. It's trading at about 13.7 times current EBITDA. So I wonder if this chart is actually a little bit more conducive to some trading and long-term investing.
Juniper has been a hot stock. It comes in and comes out. Right now, I think it could come back and play. I see a very good pattern here, a descending channel, and it's on a few-month time frame. So when that breaks that, it could go for a while. So if you take a quick look at Juniper, look at this pattern here. This is a nice descending channel. So if you want to get in a tier 1 in these 37 area, that's good. If it starts to break above 38, you could see a move, and then you have a lot of room back to these highs. So if you like the Juniper story, I think you buy a little bit here, wait for it to break this little descending channel, and that's when you add to that trade. It looks pretty good here.
And this also led me to AdTran, which provides network access solutions that allows voice, data, video, and internet communications. But it's only, you know, a $2.76 billion company, but sales are expected to grow almost 11% throughout the next 2 years, earnings about 12%. So I wonder if this is sort of an under-owned by long-term investor play in this space.
What's funny is we've traded this stock. It's been quick at times, and then times it's just out of play. Looking at it here, it also seems like it woke up. You see this downtrend? Kind of going sideways, trying to break above it. I think this is in play. If you want to buy it versus 40, I would have liked you to have bought it a little bit closer to 41, but it's got room to 44 and then higher if this group comes back in vogue, and it could come back in vogue if, you know, Cisco is a decent catalyst. So it's decent here, but you have to really know that story. It's a little bit more speculative because it's not as well known as your Cisco and your Juniper.
And as we round out this segment, I just want to touch on NetApp. Got an upgrade today. I know we talked, and was that a nice move since you actually recommended it or talked about it? So what do you do here? What do you think?
NTAP, hopefully you're already involved. It's just had a nice move. It's upgraded today, so it's up. If you're an investor, stay with it. As a trader, you might be chasing it just a little bit.
All right, fair enough. And we will get to the trenches with retail and the retail stock trades for today right after this.